told me just a good story. He said to move on and keep going. Imagine. We had one more life, one more shot at sunrise. Erase everything, start with new eyes. Break the same tragic goodbyes. Wanna dance one way. Kept a coffee cup on my nightstand. Not to reminisce, just a reminder to never go back to the life we shared. Anytime I'm feeling the urge to look at a picture, oh, I get so confused.
One, two, coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
It's February 9th, 2023, and you're listening to episode 322 of the PHPUgly podcast, a weekly developer podcast focused on the PHP programming language and surrounding community. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and we get together every Thursday night around 9 p.m. Pacific time to stream live, and we encourage you to be part of that live stream by joining us in our Discord channel at discord.phpugly.com and join in all the fun. I always start to trip around this part of the intro. I don't know what it is. We also would like to thank a few people for helping make this show just a little better. Our sponsor, our longtime sponsor, I might add, honeybadger.io, and our longtime Patreon supporters at patreon.com/PHPUgly. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this off. With me tonight are my coding comrades, John Congdon.
Hello. I thought I'd have something funny to say, but I'm too busy trying to get my camera figured out.
And Tom right out.
I made you guys laugh. I must have been funny.
And Tom, you muted.
No, he wasn't.
Hello.
I talked over him.
Okay. So Tom is feeling the pinch of buying a new house. He can't even afford a full pair of glasses anymore. What's going on with your glasses, Tom?
I stepped on my glasses.
Didn't the doctor tell you should not do that?
Well, I didn't have my glasses on. Couldn't see where I was going.
So
It's a vicious cycle, isn't it?
It is terrible. Yeah, it turns out like getting replacement like arms for your glasses is difficult.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you actually broke the arm, huh? I mean, the thing is actually busted, huh?
Yeah, broke the actual plastic. It's not just like that it popped out or something.
If you only had a 3D printer, you could have printed yourself a new one.
Yeah, but I don't yet.
Yet?
I might have a new one soon. We'll see.
I've gotten addicted to it. I have a problem right now because the damn thing won't auto balance. Auto balance. Yeah, that's what it's called. It won't auto
level.
Auto level. Yeah, it won't go through the configuration. So I've decided that I'm going to like take the bed apart again. I'm going to clean the. I think it has like a little camera on it. I'm going to clean that camera.
No. No, you're digging yourself a hole.
Okay.
Was there more? You can't just stop there. It doesn't work.
What's your leveling system? Like how do you level it? Does it have a sensor for leveling
Yeah, it just goes through and does it all by itself.
Yeah, so what you're doing is some kind of auto like overcorrection. Like taking it apart is just going to hurt you. You've got a screw that's either bent or you're overcorrecting every time it says to like level again.
No, I don't even get to the auto correction part. Like this first levels the bed and then it does the whole where's your nozzle at? I don't touch it. And I've been using this. I haven't touched the machine. I've been using it. I keep flipping back between 3D printing and laser etching, and I'd actually switched back to 3D printing and ran a couple jobs, and it ran just fine. And then all of a sudden, the jobs got really wonky. It was the first time I had like a really bad print. I'm like, wow, that really got away from me very quickly. I'm like, let me just fire it off again. Maybe I had something set wrong. And so I tried to fire it off again. And again, it just went totally wonky on me. And I was
Sounds like your Z offset might be wrong.
I said, let me go ahead and try to recalibrate this thing. And maybe there was something wrong. Maybe my Z offset is wrong. I'll just try to recalibrate it. So that's when I just started running the calibration again, and it would not auto level. And it's been like that for like a couple of days now, and I'm very frustrated by it because I don't know if 3D printing can be an actual recognized addiction.
Yes,
but very close to that.
Yeah,
I can't stop playing with this machine. It almost runs 24 hours a day. I just can't stop. I feel like I'm printing. Like I haven't printed anything not functional yet that I can think of. Everything I've printed has had a purpose for it, and I have so many more things I want to print. And like I was just getting to the point where I'm trying to understand how to make CAD drawings because not only do I want to make things that aren't existing yet, but I want to do the whole Batman thing and throw the PHP Architect logo on everything I do print. So everything has the PHP Architect logo on it. But yeah, everything's gone sideways on me. I'm very, very disappointed. But I was a little busy this week to really spend any time on it. I had a presentation to put together. I had to help bail a friend out who thought it was a good idea to host a meetup. Together a goddamn presentation.
the funny thing is, he comes to me and says, "Hey, I'll throw something together just real quick. No big deal." That's a full blown presentation. Like, he did an amazing job on it. Like, spent way more time than I thought he was going to. I thought it was going to be like, "Hey, let's talk about Lando, and here's how I use it," and just kind of talking about it. But you actually presented and did a great job at it.
Well, it's funny.
It's always nice to know when the bar is set real low for you.
What's funny is we posted the video to the PHP Architect YouTube channel, and I was watching the video again, not because I'm a narcissist, which I am, but that's not why I was watching the video. John had brought equipment that we were looking to use at Tech possibly, and we were testing the equipment out. So I wanted to see how well that equipment did, and basically watched the whole presentation again, because it was only like 30 or 40 minutes. I forget what the length of it was. And I missed so much stuff. I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I didn't talk about that. Or, oh damn, I forgot to talk about this other thing. And I was getting really, I'm like, that's what I get for trying to do it last minute.
Well, you didn't have much of an option on this. Like I said, I didn't even ask you. You just volunteered.
I know. I was feeling bad. I thought more people were going to be there.
You said there was like 30 people there in the video.
I did. I thought there would be more.
That's very vicious.
Yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. You did a great job on it. The test went really well. We need to cut out the first 10 minutes of the YouTube video.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. I saw that as well.
Oh, because I sent the link out and I put a timestamp of, because I wanted somebody to see it. And I was like, start at like 10 or 11 minutes in, which is where the actual meetup started.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what that. Yeah, I guess that messes up. I don't know. Go look at it and see. It should have trimmed by now, because it's that whole, hey, I'm processing this. It's going to take me like 4 hours to process it.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. It was good. It felt good to meet up again.
It did. I wish we'd had more people. It was small, but I attributed that to a couple of things. One, we had a decent turnout back in January. I was supposed to schedule February, and I kept pushing it off because when I needed to find out the address of where we were going to be, and then crap hit the fan with work, and I finally got it scheduled, but it was only like 2 weeks out. But we didn't have a topic at that point, so I just said, we don't have a topic, but if we don't get one, we'll just hang out and talk, which means nobody's going to show up. And I guess, Eric, when did you actually change meetup.com? Like, change the actual meetup?
I feel like it was a day or two ago, like a day or two before the actual meetup.
Yeah, so it was very short notice, and people probably didn't see what the topic was, and that's often a motivational factor of whether somebody will show or not. Like, Eric and I it's community. You should be there no matter what. And other people are like, I'm only going to show up if I want to learn about that topic.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, and you missed it earlier, but we shout out to NS Bucky in our Discord for hosting the meetup, by the way. He's the one that's been hosting it, and very excited about that. But I did a whole stalker thing on them where I had shown up. I think I showed up about, I don't know, a half hour, maybe a little bit more before the actual meetup started. And I stumble upon NS Bucky and our man Frank, who's also in our Discord, jamming out. Like, NS Bucky has an entire
drum
concert thing set up in his office. He's got multiple guitars, a drum kit, and all this other stuff. And these guys were just jamming out. And I felt bad. Like, I was on the literally on the outside looking in, because the door was locked, and I didn't want to tap the windows or anything, because they had their little groove going. I told Frank, I'm like, man, I love you, and you're an awesome developer, and I'm so happy you work with us, and I appreciate it. But man, that guy literally glows when he's playing music. Like, you can tell that man was meant to play music. I wish he could make a living playing music because he's so good at it, and it just fills him when he's doing it. I'm very envious of it because I wish I just had a fraction of that talent to just play something, even if it was just one song, just play one song. But it was fun. It was fun. And then I had to pee, and then I just started banging on the window. Open the goddamn door!
I think we have a presenter for next month, which is good. I think he twisted his arm last night into actually presenting.
Oh, did I guilt somebody into it? I think I know who it is.
Yeah, you might have.
I mean, there was only a few people to pick from.
I kept trying after you guys left. We probably sat out there for another half hour just chatting. And I'm like, so what are you going to present on? I don't know.
Well, I'm excited. Did they happen to mention what it was?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So hopefully we get some. I'm in this weird predicament right now where I'm waiting for the baseball schedule because I don't want to schedule it and then have to turn around and change it because obviously if I have to be there to coach a little league game, I can't, not show up for it. But I don't know when I'm going to get that schedule. And then like, I want to schedule the next one. I need to get it on the books.
Yeah. Yeah, so tell us about your week. How's it feel to be like a coach now?
I feel so out of my league. It's terrible. Like I'm out there like if it's just me with the kids, like I'm talking to them and I feel good about it. But then I feel like I'm stumbling because then I got the other dads out there and I feel like I'm being judged. And I'm like, kids, listen to me and do something. Yeah, and I'm like,
don't worry about it. They're all judged.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Please stop. I can't control them. And I'm like doing the best I can for what I know. We had a practice tonight. That's why I was almost late to get on here because we didn't get home till 8:15, 8:30, and trying to get the kids showered and in bed is, always fun.
Showered.
But we got through, like I told the parents, maybe an hour and a half at the most. And I got to the hour and we went through all the drills and I just wanted to do a simple little game. And all of a sudden the kids are like, scrimmage. And they wanted to get out there and I'm like, okay, I went over to talk to parents. I'm like, hey, if everyone needs to leave, go for it. But the kids want to play. So we're going to do some more. So we got out there and they just had a blast.
The kids run the game.
What's that? No, I let them run the game. Hey, I sat there with one of the kids was running late, like he was waiting for his parents. So I sat there and just hung with him. And he's a very shy kid, but you get one-on-one and he just will talk to you. So I'm asking him, like, so what did you like? What didn't you like? He goes, I liked it all. It was great. I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm happy to hear that. And he's telling me I did a great job, which it's like, thank you. I'm like, but I want to get better.
Who John's starting pitcher is.
So as we're talking, he's very like intuitive. I don't know if that's the right word, but like he asked me, so why'd you want to be a head coach? Like coming from an 8-9-year-old, I'm like, I'm just talking to him.
Sounds like I just like making kids cry.
I got to mess with him a little bit because at the pitching station, he gets up to pitching. He goes, I'm not very good at this. He gets up, throws the ball right over the plate. I'm like, yeah, I'm not very good at this. He's just a shy kid. He's awesome. All the kids are great.
Sounds like a shy kid with a very intense dad.
He's so I don't know, like
you don't have to answer.
Yeah. No, so I had another parent say he's the smartest kid you'll ever have on your team. So he's very intellectual. Like after he does his pitches, he's telling me, oh, well, I was throwing a little higher because gravity is going to make the ball fall down. I'm like, yeah, so we need to work on throwing faster and harder so that gravity has less time to take effect, right?
So you need to start recruiting speakers from SDPHP from this league then. You know what? You're not necessarily good at baseball, but I've got a thing you might be interested in.
Speaking might be your forte.
You ever play with Scratch?
How about you, Tom? How's your week been? I see you're still at the old place.
Yeah, still here. Not sure if I'll actually be on the podcast next week because we're boiling down to the last few days before we move. And everything is like, it feels 75% done, which means we have 90% to go. I'm not going to pretend that that's just not how it is. That's how it is. Painting ceilings, removing walls, replacing cabinets, and
so you're already you started out doing that from the beginning, huh? It's not a wish list. Like one day we'll like to replace, like tear down this wall. You're like, we're doing this before we move in.
Yeah. So we found a place that was about 80,000 less than everything else we were looking at, with a highly motivated seller. So we got them to cover points on the closing, which left us the money that we needed to make the changes that we would want. So it was a balancing act of, hey, if we buy this house, can we make it the right place? And we're right on that line where we're running out of money, but it's looking really nice.
That's
and
fantastic.
I got a server rack.
Yeah, you could have saved that for the last. Like, let's see where the money gets us, and if there's enough money, I'll get a server rack.
Where we want it to go included a server rack, and I actually toured a couple houses that already had one. And my wife didn't buy in on that, and I said, well, if we're gonna get a house, we're gonna have to buy one then. So my wife.
One of the things I printed was a little server rack for my Raspberry Pis.
Well,
I'm flexing on the Pis, man.
I found a full enclosure 4-post server rack for $250.
You say that like you're proud of it, but I'm still not seeing. I'm not seeing this as a good investment.
Well, so the gaming machine is leaving the living room and going into the office. The file server is going to go into the rack, the router, the managed switch, the pfSense, stuff. It's I'm very excited. You'll see it. You'll see it either next time or the time after that.
Well, I'm excited to see it.
I put some pictures on our Discord. Our very awesome Discord.
I missed it. Where are the pictures at?
It was a couple days ago, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah. So the rack.
I've been busy, John. Putting together the presentation.
Empty. Completely empty.
Oh,
the rack retails for $45.
I saw the rack. I thought you were talking about the place. Your place. I saw the rack.
No pictures of the place yet. I want that to be a surprise. We're doing a big. My wife is doing a big before and after collage. If you're on the video stream right now and not the podcast, you can see the picture of the rack there.
That's right.
So it's normally a very expensive rack. Got it for $250, and a huge favor owed to my wife because she had to drive and get it.
Why do you think it was so cheap if it normally retails for so much more?
Came from Twitter. They're just trying to get anything they can for their equipment right now.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that server hardware does not resell very well. So this, I happen to know, came from a Walgreens that either was shut down or did a complete rebuild of their infrastructure. And the person who sold it said, yeah, it's a Walgreens thing. It was set up once and used forever, but nothing was ever done to it. It's really in cherry condition. Comes with a bunch of rails and shelves.
I mean, Walgreens does have good prices, so
yeah.
You bring up Twitter just before the show, as we were tweeting out the show starting. I happened to see a friend of mine posted What did I do? They weren't allowed to follow anybody else. Is there a limit on the number of people you can follow?
So you guys laugh. That's why I said I feel like PHPUgly's been shadow banned or something because it doesn't show up on my stream anymore. You guys still see it though, huh?
On Twitter?
Yeah.
I don't go on Twitter.
I don't either.
So
well, then why you tell me? It's not a problem.
Because a bunch of people complained in the last week that they were getting a new error message that said that they had hit their maximum number of followers or had sent their maximum number of messages.
What?
And a leaked email came from Elon Musk that said, "Hey, we're suspending all of our experiments because things are breaking everywhere."
Really?
So people on the internet, did the sort of 1 + 1 = 2 math because it's the easiest math to do. They're trying to create a premium base level membership where you can only tweet X times per day or follow X number of people. I mean, he's trying to get as much money out of this thing as he can without realizing that he's destroying it.
Okay.
Oh, did you see? Sorry, just while we're talking about that, did you see Chris Hartjustice's post? No. Grumpy Programmer?
No, he must be shadow banned.
He shut down his Twitter because for him, Twitter was a marketing tool. He's an author. He does a lot of video game or Magic the Gathering. Like, he's got a community. He has thousands of people that were following him on Twitter, but because of the API changes, it made it pointless for him to be able. He wasn't going to use it, so he literally shut it down and moved to Mastodon.
Yeah,
I mean, he was there already, but can you imagine going from thousands of followers to just a few hundred?
Yeah,
I don't want to be this guy. I can't even imagine having a few thousand followers. This is my biggest platform.
I see so many people talking about this, and I see people talking about it on both sides of the fence. Like, you can pull Twitter out of my cold dead hands, where I'm kind of like, you're an idiot. And then I see people, I'm going to leave Twitter tomorrow. I'm like, you're an idiot. Everybody's just idiots. I don't know. I do think Twitter is imploding, and I got no problem with it. I got this issue with people who think just because they've made this decision, like they're going to get, like they're going to be that tipping point on Twitter. But, oh, I'm leaving Twitter, so I'm sure everybody else is leaving Twitter. And I really have an issue with yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I want to word that. I'm not going to even word that, but I don't know. You want to leave Twitter, leave Twitter. I don't fault anybody for that. For me personally, spend more time on Mastodon now because it's where all the PHP developers are, and there are good conversations. There aren't ads. Like, if I hit Twitter on my phone, I'm just like, there's like, post ad, post ad, post ad, and Mastodon's just, clear, but the exposure is a lot less limited. Fortunately, exposure is not something I really ever had a concern of. But I don't know.
This is the same as like the Dig versus Reddit thing, which is no one quit Dig. They just stopped going there.
Yeah.
Like,
I do think
sure, like, we're in when there was that transition from Dig to Reddit, we didn't have the same content creator culture that we do now. So when somebody's leaving a platform, they actually have to say something. Like, there are big contributors that say, like, this is where I'm going. But
yeah, I don't. No, I do. I've said this a couple times over the last couple months. I think with what are they thinking sort of comments, but I really, really, really think that they've shot themselves in the foot with this API charging issue. Now, we talked about this last night at the meetup, and I think that I had brought up the fact that there are so many companies that built their business model around the fact that Twitter, basically around Twitter in their APIs. And the kind of argument, or not argument, the point I was making last night is a lot of these companies are going to die because they never had like a budget for that. But also the bigger ones shouldn't have an issue with paying for APIs. It's like, why do you have an entire business built around these free APIs? You had to have made, you had to have known that ride was coming to an end at some point.
So a bit of a correction there is that the API that is now not free is the developer API, which had like a rate limit of something reasonable for a developer doing rate limit testing or doing just running your own little thing. So like for a developer like Grumpy Programmer, he could run a developer API and make 1,000 hits a month, and that covered everything he ever needed. There already was there for the last like year and a half. There already was an API, like a corporate / enterprise / business use API license that you had to get over that call limit. So like the change was small guys. The little guy can't use this for free anymore. The little guy has to pay just to integrate, which is where all of the developers went, well, fuck off. I use this for my own little homepage. I use this for testing. I'm not going to pay to learn to integrate with your system. So the change wasn't as severe as a lot of the internet wants people to think, but it was way dumber because it was this very small amount of traffic that they just said, well, we're going to start charging for that too. And that small amount of traffic was the people who integrated the API in the first place. So now, if you want to do a Twitter integration, you have to pay for the sandbox instead of just getting the sandbox for free and figuring out how to integrate it. And it's a lot of people were using the sandbox for their own personal stuff, but those guys were developers. Those people were, the niche users, and
they weren't making bank off of
they weren't making
the API
shit off of it. And this goes to the general misunderstanding that Elon Musk has towards where the money comes from is, hey, we're giving this away for free to 5% of our audience. Start charging them. It's like, no, they're paying, but they're paying through another mechanism. They're paying to have their company integrate it. So it's a giant stupid mess. I mean, I don't disagree that it's stupid, but that there is a misrepresentation that the API was free before and now it's not. It wasn't free. If you were using it to make money, you had to pay. But now you have to pay even if you're not using it to make money.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Rideout, for that clarification, because I definitely didn't understand that correctly. Do appreciate it.
I've seen it a lot all over the place, and the internet is a cesspool of misinformation, but it is still a stupid decision.
Yeah. I'm trying to find, speaking of misinformation, not that I'm implying you gave us misinformation. I'm trying to find something talking about the fact that people are hitting this rate limit of followers. I'm seeing some older articles that say, hey, technically Twitter has a rate limit of people you can follow and unfollow. This is all some of their anti-spamming sort of methods that they were doing. But I'm not seeing anything recent, like people posting crazy that they are hitting this limit.
It's not exactly clear what's going on here, what happened was over the weekend, people started encountering lots of random errors, over the limit for posting, over the limit for followers, over the limit for following. And the only hint we have as to what was going on was an email that got leaked from Elon Musk that said, hey, during this glitch, we're pausing all new feature development. So it sounds like Elon is trying to monetize a bunch of new areas of Twitter, such as tweets per day or followers added or stuff like people tried to add you and couldn't because you're rate limited. Do you want to upgrade to Twitter Blue? Which is a thing that they've also done this week, which is Twitter said, we will split ad revenue with you if you are a Twitter Blue member. Which, like, Twitter Blue is $8 a month.
No, it's actually gone up. I think Twitter Blue is like 11 or something now.
So 99.9% of people won't
is Twitter Blue
make $1 off of this ad revenue split.
Look at this. They know PHPUgly. I'm on PHPUgly's Twitter account right now. They know it too well. They're like, I'm not even offering these guys Twitter Blue. Are you kidding me? Look, this is what I'm talking about. If you're listening to the audio podcast, I apologize. I'm scrolling through Twitter. I'm on the PHPUgly Twitter handle. I have my personal handle up because I was looking at something, but I'm on the PHPUgly and just scrolling through this. So this should be all my posts, right? So I have the post from today, an ad, a retweet I did, another post, the post from the meetup of Frank and Bucky playing music, an ad. So what we had one ad, 3 ad, probably again here ad, another 2 or 3, another ad. I mean, it's just like so many ads now. I can't even.
John, do you understand why he's surprised by this at all? Because I don't.
No. Way too many ads. That's why everyone's moving to Mastodon. A-Woods, why are you A-Woods net instead of A-Woods?
I mean,
Andrew, A-Woods in Discord was talking about Mastodon. I was trying to find him on on there, and he changed his username to A-Woods net.
Sure.
If you want to follow somebody, follow A-Woods net on phpc.social. I guess the proper way to say that now is phpc.social/@awoodsnet.
I still don't know the proper way of doing that.
I mean, it's a URL, right?
that's why Twitter still exists, is because Mastodon is dumb.
It's less dumb the more you know about it, but it does take a while to get your head wrapped around it.
We are right now 20 years removed from having to say www. in every ad that had a website in it. I mean, you remember pets.com, people were confused about how to get there because there was no www.
I had so many arguments with people about that.
But we were getting to shorter URLs, not longer URLs. And if it's Twitter @John Congdon, people get that. If it's mastodon.com
No. You're reading too much into it. It's exactly what you just said. It's your Mastodon instance. So in my case, it's phparch.social because that's what we decided to use. The only difference is it's not just /Eric, it's /@Eric, which is weird. But that's the URL. That's the URL. What I was referring.
Madonna's account right now. How do I find Madonna's Mastodon account?
I mean, you have a point. You have to know the instance that they're on, which kind of sucks. And the fact that we are reusing the @ that Twitter made Actually, I don't know if Twitter made it, but it's so associated. When you see an @Shokum, it's a Twitter handle. It should have probably been something other than the @ symbol. But there's still the fact you need to know an instance, which makes it harder.
But
That's the biggest thing, I think, is that's the thing that makes it so difficult. You can't just say I'm @Eric on Mastodon. You have to say your Mastodon instance, and
so you could be there could be a different Eric on a different instance, which makes it a little more confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a little more. That was the whole problem with the first thing that Elon Musk did, which was get rid of the blue check marks and make them a paid service, where now you can impersonate people. If you think you have the instance right, and @Shokum is shilling a bunch of cryptocurrency stuff, then you know you're at the right @Shokum. But if he's not shilling a bunch of cryptocurrency stuff, that could be any random Eric Van Johnson.
It was good try there to be funny.
I thought that was good. But that was the whole blue checkmark issue, which exploded the internet for a while, was that there wasn't an authoritative source anymore for who was who. Enough.
Can I talk about? Hold on, Tom. Just take a breath, smoke your vape, whatever you want to do. Talk about the blue checkmark for a second, because this has been a point of contention for me. I know everybody's, especially in our very tech savvy close circle, are very anti blue checkmark, and I get that. I mentioned that for the PHP Arch handle, I thought it was a good idea to have the blue checkmark, even though it was a paid for blue checkmark. I don't understand why you just didn't have one before, but I'm like, okay, this is our business. I wanted to have the blue checkmark, so I had paid to have the blue checkmark. Got the blue checkmark. That wasn't the issue. A month or so goes by, and we revamped the PHP Architect logo. So I go to the PHP Architect Twitter handle. I'm like, okay, I want to update the little avatar to the new logo because it was the old logo, and I add the new logo. Twitter says, hey, you've changed something in your profile. We're taking away your blue check mark until we can verify this is still you. I'm like, all right, I just changed the avatar. I mean, I'm not sure what could happen, but that's fine. I figured it'd take a day or two. It's been like a month and a half, and that blue check mark still hasn't come back. And I don't know. I mean, I don't really care enough about it to follow it up, with the exception of the fact that we are paying for it. But,
yeah, I was gonna say we're paying for it.
Well, we pay for there are other things besides just the blue check mark that you get when you go to Twitter Blue. We're paying for that. The bigger thing is the ability to edit and delete posts, which is what I again think is very important for a business to be able to do.
The fact that you can't just do it anyway drives me up a wall.
I agree with you there. Yeah.
It's like,
there is a service that we do pay for with excellent response time, excellent customer service. Eric, can you let us know who that is?
When you're in production, 1,000 things can go wrong. You could deploy a bug in your latest release. Your background jobs can silently fail. Someone could trip over the network cable at your data center, and this all comes back to you. You need to know when bad things happen and be able to respond to them quickly. That's why we built Honeybadger. It's easy to install Honeybadger in your back-end applications and front-end JavaScript. It only takes a few minutes of configuration and you'll have monitoring done. That's because we hook into popular web frameworks, job systems, and the browser, so that when any of them crash, we can automatically let you know. We ping your application from our global fleet of servers to let you know about problems with connectivity, latency, and SSL certificates, and we monitor your recurring jobs to see if any of them stop recurring. When there's a problem, we alert your team using the tools you already use. We can create issues in GitHub, Jira, and other issue trackers, and send notifications via Slack, PagerDuty, or other channels. When you click through, you'll be taken to detailed information on the error. You'll see things like request parameters, headers, user information, and the backtrace. Click on any line of the backtrace to view it in GitHub, Bitbucket, or your local editor. When you fix a problem, just mark it resolved and follow up with the affected user. That's Honeybadger. We're the monitoring tool for web developers who'd rather be, well, developing.
Thank you, Honeybadger.
Honeybadger.
Thank you, Badger.
I really wish Honeybadger would consider becoming a sponsor of tech, but I'm afraid to ask him because I don't think they know they're still sponsoring us. And I don't want to tip that card yet. So,
Yeah, I worked with that business model for like 15 years.
You've been sponsoring PHPUgly for so long. Why don't you sponsor tech?
Hey, you haven't logged in a while. You guys know that you still pay for it? Just letting you know. Don't ever send that email.
That's why I still get paid by some of our clients. I just don't bring it up. Like, you realize you're still paying us? We don't do anything for you?
You know we're still shipping you bowling balls, right? I ran across an article, a late-breaking article.
Late-breaking.
Today. Late breaking. Just as we were starting up the podcast, I pulled up Reddit, and there's an article that GitHub is laying off 10% of staff and closing all offices as their leases end.
What? You're full of shit. I need to see this. Where's this link at? Add it to the show notes. Add it to the show notes. I'm saying fake news.
Okay, so I'm moving it over.
GoDaddy just laid off 8%, didn't they?
So this is...
Okay, it's behind a paywall. What am I supposed to do with this?
It's a paywall article, but the quote here is, we are not vacating offices immediately, but we'll move to close all of our offices as their lease ends, and we are operationally able to do so. Now, the headline on this got changed. So the headline says GitHub is laying off 10% of staff and cutting down office space and going fully remote.
Oh.
Which
that's a different
is not true from the statement they've made. GitHub is owned by Microsoft. If you want to keep working there and not remote, Microsoft has lots of offices you can go to. This is a normal refactoring of a company that you've purchased. And I'm kind of baffled that this is news after Microsoft bought GitHub, where Microsoft bought GitHub and then laid off staff and closed offices. Like, yeah, no shit.
There's a little overlap there, I'm sure.
Right. Like, their marketing department no longer being necessary doesn't surprise me too much. Their billing department being somewhat redundant, I'm not shocked. Like, and that's got to be 70% of the staff right there. Like, and this gets into, I'm afraid to say it, politics, but I saw a lot of chatter where people were saying, oh, these tech companies are laying off tens of thousands of people. But the big announcement this week was that unemployment is at an all-time low. And I'm like, yeah, do you think the tech industry makes up the majority of every company? Like,
especially here in the U.S.
The people who were laid off from Microsoft, Google, Facebook, all these companies, these are tech companies that employ hundreds of thousands of people. They're laying off people who are not doing programming necessarily. They're laying off people who are doing...
I don't know if I would make that statement.
I mean, some are, but it's not across the board where we hear layoffs at GoDaddy or GitHub. You're thinking all developers. You're saying that it's right. Spread across various verticals or whatever you want to call them.
I would be willing to bet that GoDaddy is 20% developers or less, and that when they say they're laying off 10% of staff, it's very few developers. It's a lot of marketing, analytics, but there's still a gigantic market demand. To that point, Nintendo just looked at the market and said, we're we're increasing the pay for all of our developers because there's a bunch of open positions that we don't want them to take. And looking at my like daily feed of employment offers and contracts and shit like that, there is no slowdown. In the tech industry, as developers, you're very safe.
Oh shit! I should be
Not
looking.
100% safe, obviously.
Wait a minute. Maybe I can make more somewhere else.
But you guys, I mean, Diego Dev is a 99%
PHP
tech
architect.
company. PHP Architect is a 95% developer company.
100%.
No, we got non-developers.
Nope. You have HR.
Oh,
you
you're
have
right. We
lawyers.
do. We do have none at least.
But
Depending
Facebook
on how you
is like,
consider Frank. I mean, I think Frank's a good
Facebook is like
That's
8%.
wrong. Poor Frank.
I'm sorry, we're going to have to fire the minstrel. Facebook is like an 8% tech company. Everything else is advertiser platforms, all of this business bullshit you have to go through. But like the tech industry,
I love this to see that there's a delay that people in Discord hear. Frank's like, wait, what?
Well, he had to find a safe place to put the joint down. These fuckers. I swear to God.
We talked a lot. I've talked in the past about how I got started in tech. I mean, I had an entire life of jobs that weren't computers, and I mentioned the fact that a friend of mine told me to get some certifications, and I did that. But one of the biggest things I attribute the fact that I was able to get started in tech, and Tom, you reminded me of this when you said something, is I got started and I got started in a Fortune 500 company, probably a Fortune 100 company.
Did.
I got started there, and I contribute that to the fact that it was during the .com era. Everybody was leaving like enterprise and going to start for these new companies. And to Tom's point, all of a sudden, like all these big companies were looking for IT people, and I just kind of slipped in.
I think we're at that same place. I mean, we are a skilled industry, a highly skilled industry. And people have asked me, am I worried about getting laid off? I'm like, well, I've been doing this for 20 years, so no. If I was an entry-level coder for 20 years, yeah. But like, I'm not an entry-level coder anymore. And just by having a job in Silicon Valley, I'm getting these job offers that are like, hey, we noticed your LinkedIn updated, and boy, you've gotten much more attractive. And I'm like, thank you. I bought a new belt. But like, entry level is for sure going to suffer. But entry level is always where it suffers first. You keep the senior devs, bring in the new college graduates, and replace the guys who've only been doing it for 5 years. And it always backfires. The senior developers always throw their complaints up the line. And I mean, like, this bubble's burst, maybe 4 times in my lifetime, in my work time. Is that a thing?
In your professional career, I think is what you say.
Sure, we'll call it that. Haven't been very professional, but sure.
In the career that I've made where people give me money.
Yeah. And I talked a lot with employee coworkers, former coworkers, and it's like sticking around for 2.5, 3 years is crazy in Silicon Valley. And maybe people will stick around for another year to ride this wave out, but this passes, and not to condemn a lot of other people working in the industry, but marketing and advertising and like these we want new blood types of positions are the ones that are at risk. I don't know why HR is never at risk.
Odd how that happens, isn't it?
Yeah, not a lot of people get fired from HR.
I'm still waiting. I'm telling you, I believe strongly we'll always have like the specialty people in our Discord. My Spanish-speaking kid is mentioning the fact that a lot of people they have are applying for NASA internships. We are 5 years, 10 years out from like being the plumbers of the future. And that's not to knock plumbers. I'm not saying plumbers is any less
paid of the people who work on houses.
Any less of a position. I'm just saying like the prestige that comes with being a developer or working in IT, I think is quickly fading, and not to any fault of our own, but from the fault of the fact that everything requires IT now. So everybody needs an operations person or a sysadmin or a developer. You know, it's no longer just, hey, I just need a website. You have all these like applications, and I don't know. I feel like the prestige of being a developer, and I do consider it a prestige to be a developer. I feel extremely fortunate to have lived this life and to be part of it. But I don't know. I think it's going away. I don't think it's going to be. We are the plumbers of the future.
I mean, it took centuries for the profession of plumber to have this concept of apprentice, worker, master, and journeyman. And we're doing the same thing now with job titles, where hopefully the CTO is a journeyman programmer. But I don't think we're losing anything. I think we're just separating things into, hey, if you're an apprentice plumber and you fuck up, you got to go, or like we have to fire all the apprentice plumbers and the journeyman will take over. But I don't think it's different. I don't think anything's changed. I think we're just categorizing it slightly differently.
That's fair. You know what I hope doesn't change? Our Patreon.
What is that?
Our wonderful Patreon supporters. We have a new one. I don't know what's going on with my life.
That's your wife.
My wife is literally giving my money away. I don't know. So I think now I have one kid. I don't know. Do I have both kids on here? I know I have one kid on here for sure. Now I have.
We need to run.
Well, you got that. Kalen J must be one of yours as well, right?
Yeah.
Kalen J, Emily J, Bek J.
A lot of J's on here.
There's clearly a number of people on here who forgot that they're giving us money.
Exactly. We should.
A number of people who feel like that they have to give us money to maintain employment.
Now I know for a fact.
Give us money to get
I know for a fact that this is the hottest Patreon supporter we have. Hey, there's a John C on here. John, are we just like trying to make the numbers look higher? Is that what do we all need to start contributing? Maybe that should be what we use the Patreon money for. We use the Patreon money to contribute back to our Patreon, and it just becomes this cycle of
we'll be rich instantaneously.
Exactly. We're printing our own money. Thank you, everybody on Patreon.
So,
we do appreciate you.
I have a question for you guys. What's the going tooth fairy rate? My kid lost my youngest lost both front teeth today.
Was it playing baseball?
he was playing baseball, but so he pulled one before we went to my other son's baseball practice, and he came and joined in, And then afterwards, we came home. He's like, "All right, Dad, you can try the other one time, but if I say stop, stop." I'm like, "All right, are you ready?" And you heard it. You heard it separate when I pulled down. I was like,
Oh.
So I have found that this is a good time to explain.
What house did you grow up in?
This is a good time to explain tax rates to a child, where obviously, like a molar, $2.
When I was a kid, I got
affecting tooth. That's $20.
I got a silver dollar for every tooth I lost. It was like a big deal, right? Because it wasn't a dollar; it was a silver dollar.
I got a condom wrapper once. Does that count?
And I used to have one of these gold caps, and I was young enough where I still kind of believed that there was a tooth fairy. When my gold cap tooth fell out, and I was ecstatic. I'm like, I'm gonna be fucking rich, and I'm like, here I am like this. I don't even like understand how to read the newspaper. I'm like looking up the price of gold. I'm like, I'm gonna be so rich, and I still got a silver dollar. I'm like, this is some bullshit. What the hell?
Yeah, so this is where you explain the whole tax bracket system is that you only get taxed on the tooth that's breaking the limit of how much you earn. So the first tooth is $20. The second tooth is $15 because now you're over the $30 tooth limit. So there's a five.
Do you understand how the tooth fairy works? You're not allowed to tell the kid how it works.
Yeah, you're the tooth. You know you're the tooth fairy, right?
An NFT of a picture of a lost tooth, Buttery, you're gonna make a great dad someday. If you're not already, you're a Bitcoin. God, I wish a Bitcoin. Yeah, I'd punch out one of my teeth right now for a Bitcoin. Are you gonna give me a Bitcoin there, Buttery? Yeah. To answer your question, I don't know. My kid mentioned $20 a tooth. I'm pretty sure
it was the same thing.
What?
For a front tooth? I'm like, what? No way. One, I think my other kid would be like, wait a second, that's a ripoff. I didn't get $20 from my teeth.
I was about to say, this can't be like the first lost tooth in your house.
No, it's been a couple of years, and
you think the market fluctuated a little bit?
It was a transition, like bringing it up. Like he lost 2 teeth in one day. That's crazy. I don't think I've seen that.
It is crazy. Yeah, I don't know what the rate is.
Now his smile looks so cute.
And did you say they're both his front teeth? Like he lost his two front teeth?
Both top front teeth, yeah.
That's such a classic picture. Such a classic picture.
Except I did get one of both out. He wouldn't let me take one when the first one came out. I will have to share. Although he would be so mad at me.
Dan, have we talked about anything PHP? Is there anything going on in the PHP world besides an awesome user group meetup?
And an awesome conference that's quickly coming up.
Oh man, let's talk some tech, baby. Talk some tech. Now that Tom's gone. Oh shit, he's back. We're talking tech. We're talking tech. We're doing the fun stuff now. We're like settling on t-shirt designs and things like that. Which reminds me, I sent you a picture, John.
The t-shirt design conversation.
I get 0 feedback from you. You hurt my feelings.
So is that a banner? Is that the deal?
Yeah.
I was gonna bring it up on the show and then I forgot to.
But I kind of give you a nice segue right there when I said I sent you a picture of something you didn't. You like the banner?
Yeah, I think it's good.
You're using a
okay.
I think we need to share the shirt and the bag and now the banner with our Discord channel.
What?
We hear you. I'm trying to.
You're using a picture of the bean.
What?
The cloud front, which is the name of the sculpture that everyone calls the bean.
Yeah.
In the background.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about it?
the city is notoriously litigious about use of that image. Like, really.
Why are
really,
you trying to get us in trouble? I mean, I'm asking like a real fucking question here.
Keep you out of trouble. If you use that picture on an actual printed banner, they will sue the ever-living shit out of you.
Well, we're not using that picture, so I'm not worried about that.
You think we should share it? You want to share it in Discord?
I'm fine sharing it in
Shirts?
Discord.
Yeah, the shirt. Discord. Do you want to see what the shirts look like? Will you buy a ticket if I show you the shirt?
We don't have. It's not like finalized or anything. We're considering.
That's true.
Why can I not flip this?
Nothing is finalized.
I'm trying to flip this image because it's all jacked in the wrong direction. But
all right, I'm going to delete this picture after I post it. So if you're not listening to us live and in our Discord, don't think you're going to be able to come back. Oh, look at that. What are we looking at here? Hold on,
I couldn't rotate the image. It was driving me nuts. So I just posted it as is.
Oh, I don't know why I'm clicking on it there. If I click on it here. That's such a classic picture, man.
I know. I just want to rotate it because he wouldn't let me take it. So I had to go quick and it's all messed up.
All right. Where's the shirt at? Where did I post the shirt? Was it in general? You know what the shirt looks like, Tom. What are you talking about? You're
No, we're talking about Anush Kapoor,
So-
the world's most asshole artist.
Anyway, I took that picture of the shirt to my local t-shirt printing place.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm counting 9 colors in there. If we can like consolidate down to a few, we can save you a lot of money on the shirts.
What's a lot of money?
I haven't gotten a full quote yet. So
I need numbers. All right, here we go. Here's the shirt coming in hot. Let me just download it. Where the hell did it go? Downloads. All right. If you're not watching the live stream, I apologize. This is not set in stone because apparently, I don't know, John's thinking about not using color, but boom, there it is. Oh, I feel like I want to delete it right now. That delete's right there. Delete. Everybody's downloading it so they can post it again later. I know you jerks. All right. That is the running theme right now of all the signage, and that is kind of where we're at with the shirt right now. I mean, 2 of those colors kind of have to be there, don't they?
Why hasn't not come through on Discord yet? Like I see. Oh, you haven't hit post.
Have I not hit send yet?
You have not sent. I'm like
Technically savvy.
Yes, I did. I totally did.
Experts in our area.
Talking about.
I'm like, why is it not on mine yet? That's so weird.
Yeah, I like it. Looks good. But like I said, I mean, everything's like I see really three colors, maybe 4.
You don't know how to count colors then.
Maybe colorblind. You don't know.
I like the lipstick Taj Mahal.
The lipstick Taj Mahal. What are you talking about?
Just to the left of the logo.
Oh,
Don't worry, it's too many colors. It won't be.
well, I guess you could have used worse examples of what that looks like, but sure, lipstick Taj Mahal. That'll work. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's there. That's everybody. Now that you mention it, I never even had to post it. I could have just like shown it on the stream, and
True.
nobody would have been the wiser. Oh, it's on the stream now. Damn it! Why did I show Discord? All right, forget everything I just said.
Because our Discord is the best place to hang out for PHP talk. We've got channels for Doom and Gloom, Some Help Please, Livewire, View. We've got the Herb, which is a private channel just for Patreons.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Show questions.
Appreciate that.
Our most active channel is the Some Help Please channel.
Yeah, that gets a lot of well, the most active channel is general, but yes, some help.
We're broadcasting, but when we're not broadcasting, man, I come back to some help, please, and I'm like, oh, I know the answer to that. Oh, they got the answer 2 days ago.
I was about to say that exact same thing. Is like, not only is it active, but like people are responding. Like, it's not just people asking questions and it just lingers out there. People are responding and fixing stuff.
Not just people. I would like to point out Dmitri Gozin's OFFS. That's
Oh, for fuck's sake!
yes, I know. Mike Page, like we have experts in our Some Help Please channel who are answering people's questions. It's kind of shocking and unnerving. I'm waiting for.
And I noticed none of us have ever responded to people, so it was a joke. Calm down.
I'm moving. It's hard.
Just moving in general for Tom is hard. You're getting out of the chair,
Getting out of bed.
I would correct you.
Oh boy! All right, where are we at? Oh, we've been on. Yeah, look at that. We're right at about an hour here. I think we're in a good spot here. Got anything else? We haven't.
I have Laravel news, which is fucking weird.
Okay.
So
I didn't see a card. Was there a card? Did you have a
pay
card?
closer attention. Laravel introduced this new facade for processes, which is essentially CLI stuff, external calls, exec type stuff. But I really like this because you can create asynchronous processes, pools, or you can fake processes. So like you can say when ls-la is run, this process will return X. Like you can fake the whole thing. You can assert on run times or assert that something was run. You can send results as if it were a request object. So success, fail, exit codes, stuff like that. This is a really cool feature. I get the feeling that it comes from Symfony because it's cool. But I don't know, and I won't take away from the contributor on this one. This is contributed by
Some guy named
Taylor.
What?
Some guy named Taylor.
Oh, never heard of him.
I think this is a very cool thing. What I also like is that Laravel 10, which is supposed to be out this week, has been pushed back a week. They've said Dries Vince has said we're still working on Laravel v10. Release is probably next week. So I'm all in favor of pushing releases back when something's not working or when it's not exactly the way you want it to be. But that's your Laravel news. I'm surprised, Eric, that you haven't brought up some of the Laracast news, which is huge, in-depth video tutorials for NeoVim.
We talked about that. Yeah. I hate to bring that up, Tom. That conversation was had.
Three more videos this week.
Okay, so they've started that. Is it still Jess doing the whole series, or? Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Big fan. Let me see. I didn't see the new ones. Like I said, we talked about this as well, but I struggle. I struggle following these
because you're moving
things. No, I struggle following these things anymore because it's just like it's the same information that I'm already bad at. But yeah, NeoVim, cool. Yeah, I'm glad these are still coming out. Yeah, you can always get nuggets of information. I really should go back through and watch all. Wow, there are a lot of them.
Oh no, we talked about it already. So
Well,
don't
we
worry.
did. We talked about it back here somewhere. We talked about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that
So-
the release cycle on these has been impressive. It makes me want to like actually.
Jess is
start
one of the like such a talented person all around. It does not surprise me to see what she's accomplishing at all. And yeah, I'm a fan of Jess as a developer and a person. I'm sure they're a pretty good person, but a great developer for sure. Very friendly person. I met her at a Laracon once, and like a total dickwad. Jess is from Australia, and so they come up and introduce themselves to me, and which was very nice. And like an idiot, the first thing I'm like, "Oh, you're from Australia? You should meet Michael Dorinda." And I could just feel her like, "Yeah, like fucking everybody's told me that. I know Michael already. Thank you." Trying to say hi to other people, trying to expand my circle a little bit.
To be fair, that's not much different than I did with Taylor when I met him. Oh, you're Taylor Otwell. I have to go. Bye.
Taylor's like, "Is that your nice spell?"
Nope. As always, this week we're going to end with all of John Congdon's cards on Trello.
Perfect.
Okay, are we wrapping up?
I guess.
I mean,
I just really liked that joke and had to say it.
What? What'd you say?
I just really like.
I can't knock them. I don't think I've had a card on Trello the last couple of weeks either.
I'll let you.
No,
I'll let you do the 20-hour days of trying to get crap running too.
Oh, we didn't even touch on that. How's that going?
It's getting there. It's way more stable. I am having fun relearning a lot of things, being involved in some of those discussions where it's like in the nitty-gritty of tech we don't use that often, and then you hear from the other developers like, we want to help, but we don't know. Like we sit down in these meetings and you're talking about things we have no clue about, and then I have to pipe up. I'm like, I only know this stuff because I've been doing it for so long, but we don't do it every day. So showing you that like this part of the system isn't normal. Like we would go months without making any sort of commit to that repo. So why dive into it? Why get to there? And all of a sudden this crap happens, the last couple of weeks. And all of a sudden there's like 100 new commits on a repo that only has a few hundred commits.
Is this related to the MySQL errors you've been having?
MySQL errors. That goes back.
Replication?
No. So this was the entire site just basically being shut down. Government overstepping and making a mistake, but of course they won't backpedal and say they made a mistake. So it's just been a nightmare a couple weeks. But like I said, getting there.
You're seeing
every day I'm
light
learning
at the
something
end
new.
of the tunnel?
Light at the end of the tunnel. Rewrote a lot of services, so we no longer rely on third party, which feels good when you control your own destiny as much as you can. Where when you're vendor locked, that's scary. Like we talk about it all the time. Like what happens if AWS goes away? And there's often times where you're like, that'll never happen. And we were using big name providers and they went away. It wasn't AWS, but still they went away. And you just, there are times where you're like, no, they're not going to go away. And you almost think about it like them shutting down. Like what if AWS isn't going to shut down, but there's a chance they could shut your services down. And again, it wasn't AWS that had the problem, but other vendors that are big in our space, and they just like, no, we're not doing business with you. And you rely on so much of their tech, it's scary.
That is a nightmare scenario, but I'm not unused to that. I've actually dealt with that quite a bit. But that's a conversation for another time, I think.
All right. Good enough reason as any to wrap things up. Let's see. What can we talk about this week? Well, how can I end the show?
Community.
Baseball.
I feel like I always talk about community and I don't know, resilience. Resilience. That's a good word. Resilience. What is resilience? Resilience is the ability to adapt and bounce back from adversity and challenges. It's something you should be aware of as a person, as a developer, that it's a tool that you need to train yourself around, because it's going to be one of those things you're going to get to a point in your life or in your career where the thing that separates you from the person that succeeds is that resilience. And if you've toned that muscle, if you understand and can identify when you need to have that resilience and how to handle issues and challenges to get you through, that's going to help you out. And it's going to help you help others out and help you identify when other people are having to go through some sort of resilient stage in their life. So don't be afraid of it. Embrace it, study it, look back on it, and try to identify when other people are doing it, are having to go through it. It's a real game changer, because it's that I think with resiliency comes a level of compassion as well. And I talk about compassion a lot, and I didn't want to do it this week. That's why I said resilience. So yeah, that's what we're talking. That was the thing this week, resilience. But that's all I have to say on that. I really should think about these things a little bit more ahead of time before I try to go off the cuff. That's going to do it for episode 322. We have been resilient doing this show. 322. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom.
Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do.
One day we will be able to hear this as it's going.
I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric.
When you get through all the things you're working on, you and I have got to try to get our heads around these virtual pipes that Tom shared with me. Because everybody's like, oh yeah, it's simple. On Linux, it's very easy. All you have to do is, have a virtual pipe. I'm like, fuck is that? I follow the tutorials. I don't understand what I'm looking at.
It was so easy on the Mac.
Yeah, that app we had was fantastic.
Sorry, Harry. Don't mean to disrespect by talking over you.
If anybody in Discord or anybody listening, well, this doesn't go out on the audio podcast, but if anybody in Discord knows how I can type my sound from one application into so that Tom and John can hear it. So basically, it needs to go into my mic. You let me know, because it's a big deal.
Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well.
Mike actually
Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an
just
honor
write your
and blessing
system
to do this
sound.
little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up.
I mean, I would even be fine if it became like a virtual mic that I had to switch over to. I would be okay with that. But I can't seem to get it, man.
So you can't do it with OBS. That's like step one. OBS can't do it. Doesn't do it. That's not what OBS does. You have to create a virtual interface.
Because OBS
web
only
browser.
deals with things going out of the stream, not back to us.
Right. So you take your web browser and you set up a virtual audio interface for your web browser.
Well, hold on. Before you even go another step, this isn't an issue on the web browser.
Yes, it is. Oh, you're playing the video in OBS.
Right.
Yeah, so you just can't do it.
I feel like I can.
You can't.
I think I can. And like John said, it worked fine on the Mac. On the Mac, it was just, I forget what the app was. Audio Hijack. Audio Hijack is what we used. And that would just say, okay.
So back then, you did not play the video through OBS.
So Audio Hijack, it was as simple as saying, hey, take this application and any sound coming out of it, send it to this mic.
Well, that would end up being a loop. I think he's right. You can't take it out of OBS, put it back into OBS, and then it's just gonna loop back too much.
I think you're wrong.
You can monitor. You can set a monitor on OBS and then route that monitor to either your headphones or your headphones and Video Ninja, but then you have to hijack your microphone. It would be a huge pain to do it through OBS.
Yeah, I feel like it should be something. Shokum, I have no idea, but I bet if you reach out to Chris at the Linux Unplugged, Coder Radio, etc. podcast, he would know. You know,
Hi, pretty cool guy.
Thank you, A Woods. I'm sure I can just pick up the phone and call Chris. He's not too busy. I'm not being sarcastic at all. A Woods. I like that. I like that guy. I like Coder Radio a lot and Linux Unplugged. He's what I would inspire to be. Although not that he's living large or anything like that, but the guy just does podcasts all day long, all week long on different things that he enjoys.
Oh, you're being called out.
Eric's second born. I think I can.
The mechanic story all over again. Is this to do with that fucking Vespa you stole?
I don't understand what this is. This is the mechanic story all over again. I don't know what that is. I think I can. I mean, unless are you talking about the recent mechanic story? Because I was a stud on that one. Yes, the recent mechanic story. Yeah, okay. I mean, I was right.
That was a good one. I like that one. Eric, can we just try this? Mechanic. No, don't do that. But I think we can just try this. No, really, don't do that. All right, I'm going to go to another mechanic. Eric, can we do this? Mechanic 2. No, don't do that. Well, how about we just try Mechanic 2? Okay. That works.
So, do you guys know what a candy day is?
Negative.
Oh,
It's like
stop recording. Oh, look at you on top of things. Right. Good.
Like a work on technical debt or whatever, like your thing is, day.
Okay, are you saying words that we're supposed to be following? Because
I've never heard it called a candy day, but okay.
What have you heard?
What are you talking about? Like the 20% where you get to work one day a week on like a project you want to work on, or okay,
Yeah.
20%. That's what I've heard it called as well.
Well, we're also doing a refresh day, which is no one talks on Slack, no one works, everyone takes the day off.
Takes the day off, or takes a break from Slack.
Takes the day off.
takes the day off.
Yes, like you're not allowed to ping other employees. You're not allowed to. You're supposed to take the day off, but if you don't, that's fine, I guess. But like Slack is supposed to be a dead zone.
Okay.
I've got 2 of those coming up.
Do they kind of intersect with tech? Because that's where you're going to be?
What's up with that, man? We haven't heard from anybody about sponsoring either. So if we don't get sponsored,
I don't
you
care
better
about
not show up.
I don't care about
I do.
sponsors.
I do.
I send your team. Bring your team to tech. I mean, I care about sponsors. Don't get me wrong, but if they're not going to sponsor, at least bring the team to tech.
I'm going to be on site.
Or some of your team. The week before. I'm not going to wait.
No. No, I'm going to be on site March 5th. I'm going to try and like plant little seeds. Like, hey, wow, God, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a PHP thing? Like, just like walk around the like, oh, PHP Tech's coming up. You guys go to that?
Yeah, I'm sure that would sell a ton of tickets for us. So.
And I'm not in the ticket selling business. I don't.
Hey, John, I did want to take a moment and tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time and sending me those headshots. Oh wait, no, that was Tom that did that.
I did it first, just because you don't like them.
Just did it poorly,
but I did it.
It's true. I mean, your argument is solid.
I just didn't do it again. All right, I think I'm finally coming up for air with, the client stuff. So,
well, now you gotta get your camera working again.
Yeah, I gotta do that too.
Any?
Oh, did you?
I
meant to ask you. Did you see what I was talking about with the flicker?
Yeah, I did, and I have no clue.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say there.
Well, I got bad news. I got overhead fluorescence in the new office.
Ugh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
How's a residential house built like that?
So we think it was a home
Beth
nursery.
Lab? Oh, home nursery. Okay.
Like there's a lot of excessive childproofing on everything. And a lot of Psalms, PS.
So you're gonna break down walls and expand rooms, but you're not gonna replace fluorescent lights.
No, I am. I'm gonna replace them with LEDs. But I have to get the ballast so for those fluorescents, you have to get the ballast short circuited so you can put the LEDs in there, and you have to have a electrician.
Hey, Woods, hang around for a second. I want to talk to you.
Or just take them out completely and rewire it. It's not that hard to do.
Yeah, that's cheaper. No, just
do it yourself?
Just rewire your room. I'm already getting conduit dropped into that room. That's cost me like $500.
And I'm got a whole AC unit going in just for that room to pump in air to the rack.
Yeah.
And a whole exhaust system to pull out the heat.
Yeah, what's your point? Where are you going with this?
Cut a couple wires. Don't worry about disconnecting at the breaker box. Just cut the wires and you're good.
You want to hear how big of a dork I am? Because I surprise myself on a fairly regular basis. I printed up those racks for the pies. So I have 3 pies in there. I have my 4, my 3, and a 2. And I'm sitting there, and the 4 and 3 are working fine. They're the ones I've been using. The 3 was yours, John. My friend, I should have a 3 somewhere. Interesting.
Yes,
anyways,
you should have a threesome.
And I'm sitting there trying to figure out what's going on with the Pi 2. I'm like, why the fuck can't I get the Pi 2? And I'm trying all the little tricks because I don't typically plug in a monitor to it. So I'm trying all the tricks to find it on the network, the net stats and grepping. And I'm like, what the hell? Why can't I find this Pi? So I'm like, all right, forget it. I'm going to go ahead. I'll hook up a monitor to it, and then I'll install Tailscale, and I won't have to worry about this anymore. So I go out there and I get it hooked up to the monitor and everything. I'm such an idiot. And I'm looking at it, I'm like,
Turned off.
no network available. What the fuck? And I'm trying to click on the Wi-Fi. And it's like, no Wi-Fi. I'm like, what? Is the Wi-Fi busted? What's wrong with the Wi-Fi? So Pi 2 didn't have fucking Wi-Fi built into it.
No,
I'm like, I'm such an idiot, man. I couldn't believe how long I wasted on trying to figure that out. I'm like, oh.
To be fair, the Pi 3 doesn't either.
Well, versions of it does.
Has Wi-Fi
The first one
functionality.
didn't.
No, no. So it actually splits the functionality with the gigabit Ethernet. So if you're running the Wi-Fi, it'll actually have your gigabit Ethernet speeds. It's a chipset thing.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. So A Woods, I'm talking to you. A few weeks back, you goaded me into putting up a toast cam, which I did. I was actually very proud of my toast cam that I put up. It's still up. I still have it. Here, boom, toast cam. Fucking Toast hasn't been in my office since I put this thing up. I think Toast has an issue with the Toast cam. Toast does not like being on, because she'll lay in here. She'll be sleeping right up to the time she sees me start to make the adjustments to the camera so that it's showing her, and she takes off on me every week now. So I take no. She's camera shy, my wife says.
Yeah.
Is she upstairs with you?
Now you're wishing you would have done this earlier because you didn't want her in your office to begin with.
That's true.
Like, damn, I should put this camera up here. Like, just messed with it.
Maybe I'll start bringing it out during the day while she's driving me crazy. Our dog has a play date tomorrow. I'm weirdly excited about it.
I'm watching all sorts of.
Good. No, you go.
I was just gonna say no. I'm watching all sorts of videos trying to figure out how to, like, my dog at the dog park is great. Like, off leash he's fine, but you put him on a leash, bring him up to another dog, and he's like Kojak. He's like just crazy.
Like violent sort of crazy. Like
it just like he
Kojak.
goes
aggressive.
go
I
up,
mean, I guess is the word.
yeah. Like it starts out. It's normally when both dogs are together, so it starts out okay. But then my little dog starts doing a little yapping, and then all of a sudden it's like they're fighting for the other dog's attention. It seems like, and then they just start bearing teeth, and it's like, all right, we're gonna go with these crazy dogs this way and try and get away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you were gonna say. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's
Your play date.
Oh, play date. Yeah.
Your play date.
Yeah, the dog's play date. So we talked about the morning routine we have and how much we're enjoying it. Well, we've made like these friends at the dog park where our dogs and their dogs get along really well. And so tomorrow, instead of going to the dog park, they're coming to the house, and we're going to let the dogs run around. And it's funny because we're like always comparing notes, like, oh, God damn, this dog's here. I like the dog. I hate the owner. Or, same thing. But
so is this a dog and person play date you're bringing over?
Yeah.
For the people to hang out with.
Yeah. So it's like our first like friends in our new area sort of thing. So I'm kind of excited. We'll see how it goes, but yeah.
Empty nester things. Yep.
I miss we here at the house we consciously try not to compare Toast to Yaz, right? And Yaz was on such a different level of being a dog, and we had these routines with Yaz of going to the park where I didn't even have to have Yaz on a leash. Yaz just stayed next to me. We walked to the park. When it was time to go, I would say, Yaz, let's go. That I wouldn't whistle or anything. I'd just say, Yaz, let's go. Yaz would come to the gate, come out, and we'd walk back. I mean, it was this fucking dog. Like Toast you keep this dog leashed because this thing is like constantly trying to get away, and she is so crazy strong. Like she's getting bigger and thicker, and I'm not. You're going to think I'm exaggerating, and I'm not exaggerating. Well, I might be off by one or two, but we've gone through. I might be off by one. We've gone through 4 leashes in the few months that we've had her, and of those months that we've had her, we only started going to the dog park like whatever it was 3 months ago or so. So we go through about a leash a month with this dog, of her just running and tearing and chewing and tearing it. Dog's a maniac, man. Maniac. So
Puppies.
Eric, you need to talk to your kids and tell them stop calling me out on Discord.
Yeah, they call me out too. What they call you out on?
I said Kojak instead of Cujo.
I love how much your kids.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. I'm like, I couldn't make that. Like Kojak wasn't that big of a badass.
you played it off so well. Like I'm like, oh, that was right.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, what? Like aggressive? Like mean? What words are you trying to say? Kojak. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, see, my kids are smarter than I am sometimes.
Smarter than I am too.
Hey, look,
And
look.
Must be
I don't
nice.
have a dog, but I have a cat. Hey, Bugbear. You're out of frame, Bugbear. All right, I tried. What
what are you saying, Tom?
I got to run. I want to go offline on one thing.
All right. Let's wrap it. Hey, thanks everybody for hanging out
Thank
with
you.
us. As always, we appreciate you. You're good people.